Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Who wins? Opetatia, big, strong Samoan from Australia. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, who destroyed people at 168, destroying people at 175, and is looking ahead to Cruiserweight next year, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and fight Zurdo Ramirez in a fight that I think he's going to get through with no problem. I'm not sleeping on Zurdo Ramirez. Zurdo Ramirez can box. Big, strong, long, can make the fight tricky. But I think David Benavidez just, outworks him, overwhelms him, and gets him up out of there. The real fight is David Benavidez versus Opetatia. And I'm telling you right now, Opetatia is like, I'll crack your head like these coconuts. Uso. And David Benavidez is like, he isn't that scary. But I'm going to tell you this. Who wins, why, and how they beat each other? I think just a real short answer, kind of quick pick without really trying to break it down. On paper, the size and natural power of Opetatia, who's a true cruiserweight, it gives him the edge. Because the fight's going to be held at cruiserweight, so you got to favor Jai to be the favorite. Now, if the bout, which I don't think it will be at a lower weight, then, I would benefit Benavidez. Benavidez has his speed, volume, disciplined game plan. David will become a really live threat. But even at cruiserweight, there's always a chance that he could outwork and break down Opetatia. But I don't know. But I'll just say this. When you just start talking about facts, Opetatia is the undefeated ring IBF cruiserweight champion. And damn near, let me not say it that way. But in his opponent this past weekend, he messed him up. The guy had a little bleeding on the brain, cracked vertebrae. Opetatia can fight, and he can hit, okay? And David Benavidez is undefeated. He's a power puncher, high-volume puncher as well. Recently moved to 175, doing the business, about to bubble up to cruiserweight, because I think him making 168 was, life-threatening. Him making light heavyweight is just a struggle. But maybe at cruiserweight, he'll be more comfortable, okay? But what he did to Anthony Yarde was frightening. But he didn't have the one-punch KO power, but he has the power to just break you down and chip away at you, but badly hurt you round after round after round. But can he show that success at cruiserweight, which is what we're going to find out when he faces Zurdo Ramirez in May. So fight dynamics and the decisive variables. Why the pick above? Look, size and power. Opetatia, true cruiserweight, consistent KO power, and a history of stopping guys late. Fighting at or near 200 pounds, give him a clear physical advantage. Hurt and stop upside against guys who move up. Let me tell you, you move up to Opetatia's world, you have to be ready. There's a reason why he runs that shit. But you just never know, because Canelo was the man at 168. Crawford went up, and look what he did. So I understand the size, the power differential, probably being the biggest deterrent to Benavidez winning a straight shootout. But I do understand that with a special fighter, they can go up and make the impossible possible, kind of like what Crawford did. So when it comes to size and power, you got to favor Opetatia. But when it comes to speed, pressure, and hand quantity, you got to favor Benavidez. Benavidez brings high punch output, solid body work, and the ability to cut the ring off. If he can avoid one-punch exchanges and outwork Opetatia over rounds, he can tilt close rounds and exploit any defensive holes. His 175-pound run has been pretty convincing that at cruiserweight, Benavidez should be able to hold his own. Now, we just got to see how he does with Zurdo. But again, Benavidez throws high volume. Opetatia is not like that. But he's a slick-ass southpaw, man. And when he gets his shots off, his shots hurt. He can knock you out. I wonder what happens when he hits Benavidez. Is Benavidez just going to smile and shrug it off and keep coming forward? Because then we got to fight. But that's a lot to ask for Benavidez. So speed, pressure, hand quantity, you got to go at Benavidez. but then stamina and durability. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. Opetatia has shown stamina for 12 rounds and willingness to carry power late. Benavidez has power and chin, but we haven't seen him absorb a heavier incoming punch at cruiserweight. That shit can be decisive. So for all y'all Benavidez fans, look, I'm with you. I'm with you. He can win. But how's that chin going to hold up against a guy like Opetatia? That's all I'm saying. And we got to wait and see. So stylistic matchup, southpaw Opetatia, long, awkward angles versus the orthodox, aggressive Benavidez, sets up classic timing. Angles is like a chess match with Benavidez in there. But if Benavidez can't time the southpaw lead left hand / left cross, Opetatia's counters will be costly. And that's what I was watching this weekend. I said, let me really watch Opetatia. In every fight, there is the angles. He kind of reminds me like Usyk a little bit. But when he gets his hands out like this, but Benavidez ain't the kind of guy to try to look to sneak one shot, and Benavidez is trying to get close and work. He's not a guy who's trying to outwork you on the outside. That's not Benavidez's game. That's Opetatia's game. So we're going to see if Benavidez can get into the eye of the storm and get to work, because he's going to take some damage trying to get in there on Jai Opetatia. But if anyone can do it, Benavidez can do it. But at the same time, we got to talk about the strengths of Jai Opetatia. Genuine cruiserweight power and finishing ability. Recent KO power. He shows it in every fight. He can and will knock your ass out. Physical size, reach, and southpaw angles that cause matchup problems. They can't figure him out. He got a little Usyk in him. Then he's undefeated, proven at world level. He is the man at cruiserweight. Weaknesses, he can be a slow start and admitted to feeling sluggish in spots in some fights. Can be hurt if the game plan isn't proper. Moving up in profile invites bigger, faster opponents. Questions about handling a very fast pressure fighter like Benavidez is a weakness. They're not sure how he handles it. No, Benavidez can fight, man. He can fight. But the opportunities are there. Big unification, big money fight at cruiserweight, and a potential move up to bigger fights at heavyweight. So a lot of opportunities, but then the threats, look, speedy volume punchers who fight in Benavidez mold on the inside, style-specific losses if outpaced. He can't allow for somebody to get on the inside and get to fight in their fight. I never seen Jai Opetatia really fight on the inside with someone like Benavidez, who's just fast hands and never stops working. Upstairs, downstairs, Benavidez is working. And that's going to be very interesting to see if Jai Opetatia can handle that. Now with David Benavidez, his strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths, outstanding puncher, power puncher, high volume puncher, combination puncher, high KO rate, and finishes in key spots. Aggressive pace, improving at 175 against top opposition. Can he push that pace at cruiserweight? I think he can. Weaknesses, just the size. Him against Opetatia, size differential. Going up to cruiserweight, tell you something, can be exposed by a heavier single punch counter, which Jai Opetatia can and will deliver. And then for David, the tendency at times to rush and eat big counters if timing is off. He can't afford to take that shit from Jai. Anyway, opportunities, look. David Benavidez is a superstar in the sport of boxing. He's got a big name, and he's going to be looking to get in there with fights with big names in the biggest fights. So if he can successfully carry his power above 175, huge paydays and crossover appeal, especially if he keeps winning. The threats, I'm going to just tell you, he was at 168, now going up to 199 pounds. He could be out muscled, especially in late rounds when heavy punches are landed. And his chin may not hold up against those heavy hitters. Jai Opetatia is an effing heavyweight. I don't care what you say. Jai Opetatia is an effing heavyweight. But we're going to see, because David Benavidez is very special. So, 8-step problem. Eight-step problem-solving plan. What each fighter must do to win. For Opetatia, use reach and angles early. Forces Benavidez to fight on Opetatia's terms. Keep the jab and southpaw foot outside. Win the foot fight. Control the distance. Don't allow Benavidez to worm inside with his rhythm and continuous pressure. Keep Benavidez' ass on the outside. Target the body, sap Benavidez' legs to blunt his pressure and reduce his output in rounds 6 through 12. Counter with power. Punish Benavidez when he overextends. You know Benavidez is going to be in there letting his hands go. Use the left overhand and straight counters to punish Benavidez. More importantly, stay composed, avoid unnecessary slugfest. That's what Benavidez wants to be. Pick your spots rather than trading fireworks early. Frustrate Benavidez, make him start complaining, but ultimately stick to your game plan. And make sure you're conditioned for late rounds. Maintain the pace to rounds 8 through 12, where the cruiserweight power can win fights, because David Benavidez, he gets stronger as the fight progresses. And this is where Jai Opetatia could catch his ass if he's not conditioned for the late round surge that's going to come from Benavidez. And in the clinch, you got to figure out how to work in the clinch. Got to neutralize Benavidez' rhythm and reset, because Benavidez wants to be in the clinch, and that's where he thrives. And then, just psychic readiness, Don't underestimate Benavidez because he's smaller. Hell no. Don't underestimate him and sleep on his speed. Keep the guard high and head movement active. I think Lamont Roach this past weekend underestimated Pitbull Cruz, and that's why Pitbull Cruz, to most people everyone agrees with a draw, but if anyone deserved the W, they feel that Pitbull Cruz deserved the W. Now, for Benavidez to pull the upset, cut the ring and pressure smartly. Jab to body combos to negate Opetatia's length. Hit and pivot, land combination and exit lines to avoid Opetatia's counter left, because that shit's coming. Target the body relentlessly. Break down the bigger man's gas tank and mobility. Maintain a high tempo. Outwork Opetatia round to round to tilt judges and create openings. Protect against one-punch counters. Keep the chin tucked and guard high when entering range. Controlled aggression, don't get reckless. Chase, but pick spots. Avoid single big exchanges early. It's not going to benefit David Benavidez. Jai Opetatia in any fighter is a problem in the first 4 rounds, especially a guy like Opetatia. Benavidez can't afford to come in reckless, chasing after Opetatia. You don't chase a puncher around the ring. But he's got to mix levels and angles. You got to change up head, body targets, use feints, create openings. Those are things he has to do. And strength and weight management, add functional mass like Terrence Crawford did when he fought Canelo, like Devin Haney did when he fought Brian Oman Jr., how I think Shakir's going to do when he fights Teofimo. Add the functional mass to handle Opetatia's power without losing speed. Everybody needs to understand this functional mass shit. I broke it down for Crawford and Canelo. Shit went over a lot of people's heads. I'm the only one talking about functional mass. I don't know what the hell the problem is. Chet Fortune is a guy everybody should work with. He helped Crawford. They should work with Chet Fortune. But that's just my opinion, man. Anyway, when you look at the last fights, Opetatia KO'd Hussein Sin Cara, Benavidez KO'd Anthony Yardy. It just showed both of those guys have, brutal finishing power. Ain't no need to get into anything more than that. They both can finish it. But again, Opetatia is bigger, stronger. We just got to see if David Benavidez getting through Zerdo, if he was able to grow into the cruiserweight division and be able to get it with a guy like Opetatia. And that's just going to depend on David's habits, the intangibles, and why this would be. And that would make it must-see TV. Benavidez fights with urgency, volume, personality. Fans love his power and nonstop approach. He's also been chasing bigger fights and narratives. Tried to get Canelo. Canelo put duck sauce on the carne asada. Didn't want shit to do with Benavidez. We all know now why he didn't. But it creates a lot of interest because people are like, damn, Canelo ducked this man? So they know there's something about Benavidez. And Opetatia is the polished, unbeaten champion with real finishing ability and southpaw awkwardness. He brings the can't-be-taken-lightly aura of a bigger man. The contrast, heavy, clinical southpaw versus aggressive, high-output orthodox puncher, is exactly the stylistic drama that sells. So, what would be the promotional narrative? Size versus speed, undefeated records on the line, potential division-moving consequences. All of that creates pay-per-view intrigue. This is a pay-per-view fight. I'll tell you that shit right now. So the final verdict, man, at cruiserweight, Opetatia's favorite, man. Size, power, comfort at the weight, make it difficult to beat. But if anyone can do it, Benavidez. But it would never happen at a catchweight, so we can forget about it. But if it was at the lighter weight and Opetatia had to try to take muscle off to fight at 175, you got to favor Benavidez. He got the tools to outwork anyone. He got the speed advantage over most guys at that weight. But it'll never happen at a catchweight. It's going to be at cruiserweight. And Jai Opetatia should be the favorite. So, just like they call David Benavidez the Mexican monster? Shit, this fight, if it happens, the question gonna be, can the Mexican monster survive the Cruiserweight monster? That's what it is, you know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna expect Opetatia to break Benavidez, but Benavidez may outgun him. So we're gonna find out. Anyway, y'all keep cool. About to go in here and chill a little bit. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Like, subscribe, become a member to the channel. Follow me on all social media platforms and leave that donation for that fried rice and chicken wings. In the breeze.